So ladies, let's give a big round of applause for Miss Judy and Miss Usha!
I think growing up, I've always been told that engineering or math or science is kind of a male-dominated type of field or more of a male interest. And I think it's really important for girls to understand that it's not just males can do this. Females can actually do this.
It's important to send positive messages to girls, especially with relationship to STEM programming, because there's so many other messages that young girls are being bombarded with out there in society.
There's just a lot of images in the media or just around that a typical scientist is a white male.
Ladies, thank you for having me today with your TechBridge class. I always enjoy coming to TechBridge and talking to the girls about science and engineering, and in more particular, how science and engineering fit in with what I do every day, which is I am an attorney. Anyone have an idea about how science and the law actually come together? Oh, back there, yes.
I would think on patents.
If I had a gold star, I would give you like 10 gold stars today because I am a patent attorney. And you're absolutely right.
When a role model introduces herself, you really want to encourage her to be casual and familiar with the girls. This isn't a corporate presentation. She's not presenting to her coworkers or her boss. These are children.
When I go on construction sites, they're really bright and crazy colored because you want to be visible. You don't want to get run over by like big equipment that's on the site.
You want to make it fun, you want to make it interesting, you want to be enthusiastic and silly sometimes, and really include the personal details that girls are interested in.
This is me, and I like to say relative to what I do as my job and my career, it's more about my personality. So you hear people say, oh, to be an engineer you have to be really good at math. Well, when I was your age, I was getting C's in math. I think that their personalities are what spurs their creative thinking and gives them the confidence in themselves. So as a role model, I like to go into the classroom and say, well, this is who I am. I feel like I always want to try something new. Ever get that feeling? Like, oh, I don't know how, but I'm not afraid. I'm going to try and do it anyway. Because if you go back, you're not really worried about whether you do it right or wrong. You get to learn something new.
One thing that I find that I do as a role model when I come in to reinforce the positive messaging, one is to relate.
So before I went to law school and became a patent attorney, I was like you young ladies. My mom and dad had me in science and engineering courses, physics, chemistry, math, everything that you all are learning and are being exposed to. I went through that too. And I'm not all science and engineering. I mean, I like to do things like you girls probably like to do. I heard someone earlier talking about shopping. I like to shop.
Having a role model be there and to tell you their story about how there was a roadblock or a barrier, somebody threw a stereotype at you, that you didn't let it stop you, I think that's an important message to get across.
Like right now in school, it's like 50-50 boys and girls, right? Yeah. Once I got in my upper division classes, it was like 15%. By the time I got in my 300 and 400 level classes, sometimes I was the only girl in the class. The way I coped with that was I did extracurricular activities with people that were in my group and that made me feel welcome.
Then you would move into the hands-on activity where the girls really get a chance to experience the career that the role model is in.
I want us to, kind of change gears and think of yourself as research scientists today. And we're going to actually make a bouncing ball, and you might even think that we work for a corporation or something that's a toy company, and they're trying to create a new ball that bounces higher than any other balls.
I don't know mine.
Okay, so this is
Button is connected here.
So this is called a squirrel cage.
As they're walking around and talking with the girls during the hands-on activity, they can say, oh, you're taking apart this appliance. This is what a real mechanical engineer might do in their job if they're comparing their product to somebody else's.
What do you guys think about this? What's so cool about it? It's because when you hold it, it's like it melts, and when you push back, it gets hard.
Being a role model is actually really rewarding and satisfying. Seeing that passion light up in a particular girl, it makes me really happy that I've done what I had sought out to do, and that is to motivate and empower these girls that they can do anything they want if they really put their minds to it.
I truly get excited when I see girls and the light bulb goes off and you can see them get excited and start working faster. For me, it's personal gratification when you can lead a child into another level of confidence about themselves and what they can do.
They may not verbally express it, and that's when you have to go back and say, I remember what it was like to be an 8th grade girl where I didn't want to open up with a strange adult, but know that inside they'll go back and they'll talk to their friends about it, or they'll talk to their parents about it, or maybe even their teacher or their program coordinator who's at the school, and that you are making an impact. There's one girl in the classroom who's going to have a good takeaway from the session for the day.
It makes me feel like maybe I can actually do something like that. Like, it makes me feel like maybe I can actually have a career in this field, and kind of inspires me to maybe drive and go for a similar path that they've gone through and take a look at different ideas too. Maybe even jobs I'd never even thought of.